Kyle Busch isn't slumping. He's dying. 100-plus races without a win. 27th in points. And now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just said the quiet part out loud. This isn't a fixable problem. In fact, the real problem isn't even Kyle Busch. It's the team that's slowly ending his career. And the solution they just announced? It's already failed before. Here's what nobody at Richard Childress Racing wants you to know. If this kind of raw, unfiltered NASCAR truth is what you're here for, hit that like button right now and subscribe. Every single subscriber genuinely matters as this channel grows. 10 races. That's all it took. Jim Pohlman is out as crew chief of the number 8 car, and Andy Street is in. This is the fastest crew chief firing of Kyle Busch's entire Cup career. Before the switch, the team had logged 5 straight finishes outside the top 20, 5 in a row. Their only bright spot was a single top 10 finish at Talladega Superspeedway. One decent result in 10 races. That's not a rough patch. That's a crisis. Busch himself didn't sugarcoat it. He said, the writing is in the point standings. He knows exactly where things stand. But here's the part that should concern every NASCAR fan watching this. This obvious move isn't a solution. It's a desperate Hail Mary from a team that has run out of answers. This isn't strategic. This is survival mode. Now, when Dale Earnhardt Jr. speaks on something like this, the garage actually listens. He's not just a NASCAR Hall of Famer. He owns a race team. He has lived through this exact kind of chaos as both a driver and an owner. And what he said on his podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, was more honest than anything coming out of the RCR press office. The first thing Dale Jr. wanted everyone to understand is that what's happening to Kyle Busch isn't really that rare. There has been a lot of radio chatter that's become public, but Dale Jr. was clear, that's not uncommon. It's just highlighted because it's Kyle Busch and he's struggling unlike Kyle Busch. Every team fights on the radio. Every driver gets frustrated. But when it's Kyle Busch, every word becomes a headline and every bad finish becomes a national emergency. The leak is the symptom. The disease is buried much deeper inside that organization. Then Dale Jr. dropped the real warning. He said, I've been in this situation. When you make a change mid-season, it is really hard to find positivity and try to figure out how to be hopeful that things are going to improve. Mid-season crew chief changes don't create wins. They create confusion. A new voice on the radio. New strategies. New chemistry to build from scratch. And chemistry doesn't develop overnight. It takes 10 to 12 races minimum to build real trust between a driver and crew chief. RCR doesn't have that kind of time. Here's another brutal reality. Jim Pohlman didn't fail as a person. He's the 2024 Xfinity Series champion crew chief. He built a dynasty at JR Motorsports with Justin Allgaier. He arrived at RCR as a proven winner and collapsed in 10 weeks. That doesn't happen to elite crew chiefs operating inside healthy organizations. It's not the people. It's the place. And the place has a deeper problem than one bad crew chief pairing. Kyle Busch hasn't won a race in over 100 starts. For a driver with 60 Cup wins and 2 championships, that number is almost impossible to comprehend. Only 3 drivers in NASCAR history have ever bounced back from a 100-plus race winless streak. Busch is 40 years old. This isn't a young driver going through a sophomore slump. His 2026 average finish sits at 22.1, more than 4 positions worse than 2025, and it's trending toward the worst statistical year of his entire career. Worse still, this is a contract year. He's not just racing for wins. He's racing for his job. 60 wins means nothing if you limp across the finish line. But wait, Kyle Busch himself says everything is fine. So who's lying? After the crew chief firing, Austin Dillon revealed that Busch actually led a town hall meeting with the entire RCR shop floor. On the surface, it looks like leadership. Look closer, and the picture shifts. Busch said, I feel like I've done nothing except positive things in the time in which I've been at RCR. The last 4 years, I've done nothing but work as hard as I could possibly do. He also defended the organization publicly, stating, "There's a lot of great people there, and a lot of smart people there as well, and Richard and Mike and all those guys have given us all the resources and tools to go out there and succeed. It's just not quite come together with the results of winning." Read between the lines. When a champion driver says the tools are there, but the wins aren't coming, he's telling you the system isn't working without directly saying it. He led that meeting not purely out of confidence. He led it because if he didn't, the team would mentally quit on him. This is leadership by necessity, not choice. So what about Andy Street? On paper, the case for him is real. He's a 20-year RCR veteran with deep institutional knowledge. In the final 5 races of 2025, working with Busch as interim crew chief, he produced an 8th and a 5th place finish. He helped Austin Hill reach the championship in the 2024 Xfinity Series. Busch said of him, "Andy and we conversate a lot and did a lot last year. I feel like he's got a simpler mentality about how he goes about looking at things. Back to basics. Less simulation. More instinct. That sounds promising. But the numbers tell a colder story." Street's Xfinity record shows 11 wins across 167 races, a 6.6% win rate. Respectable, but far from elite. His 2025 stint with Busch was only 5 races, and those results came in relatively clean, crash-free conditions. Small sample. Inflated optics. His real job right now isn't to win races. It's to stop the bleeding. And as Dale Jr. warned clearly, don't expect magic. Expect damage control. Because the rot runs deeper than the number 8 car. In 2026, Richard Childress Racing, as an entire organization, has produced exactly one top 10 finish, Busch's Talladega result. Austin Dillon is also struggling, just with far less media attention. Talent is walking out the door. Randall Burnett, who worked with Busch since 2023, didn't just leave RCR. He left for Trackhouse Racing, a newer and rising organization. That says everything about where RCR stands in the garage hierarchy. The philosophy gap is real. Childress operates with an old-school mindset in a sport that has gone completely new school in engineering and analytics. And Dale Jr. hinted at how bad it really is when he said, "We ain't in the building. We don't know what the conversations are like. They know way more than any of us." When a Hall of Famer says that, he's telling you the real problems are too deep and too sensitive to be spoken publicly. So what's the actual endgame? 16 races remain. 3 realistic paths exist. First, a miracle run, consistent top 10 finishes, a playoff spot, contract renewed. Second, a slow mediocre fade into 15th to 20th in points, followed by a quiet mutual parting at season's end. Third, a complete collapse, multiple DNFs, finishes deep in the P25 plus range, and either forced retirement or a team-initiated separation. RCR's internal calculation is ruthlessly simple. Why continue paying a top-tier salary for results that don't justify it? And consider Andy Street's impossible position. If he fails, he gets fired. If he succeeds, Busch gets the credit. It is a no-win job in every sense. The final number that should haunt every Kyle Busch fan is this: 0. Not one driver over the age of 40 has ever broken a 100-plus race winless drought in NASCAR Cup history. This channel is brand new and built entirely on bringing you the truth the garage doesn't want you to hear. If this video gave you something real, please hit like and subscribe. The goal is 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you makes that possible. Dale Jr. says this is a systemic RCR problem that no crew chief can fix. Kyle says it's a chemistry issue that's solvable. The data says Busch's career is already over. So who's right? Is Kyle Busch's 100 race drought ending this year? Or is this the final lap of a legend? Drop your honest take in the comments below. This conversation belongs to you.